Good morning, students. Today we will study about direct memory access. As the name suggests, direct memory access means the data transfer between the memory and I/O devices takes place without the interruption of the processor or without the involvement of the processor. That means without including the processor, I/O device can get some data from the memory or can store some data to the memory. Okay. So to do this, there are many mechanisms, but let's see. There are also two other methods of data transfer. One is programmed I/O and another one is interrupt driven I/O. So what do you mean by programmed I/O? During the programmed I/O, the data transfer is done at high rate, but once the program is getting executed, then the CPU or the processor has to complete it first, then it will accept any other request or any other interrupts. Okay, so it cannot involve in any other activities during one program execution. Okay, and if the I/O device is free or I/O device is ready to accept the request, it is ready to complete the execution, then only the processor can accept the program, otherwise not. So here I am write fully dedicated. It is fully dedicated for the execution of a single program, and during a single program execution it does not take or does not involve in any other type of exceptions. Okay, and the second one is interrupt driven I/O. Okay, in interrupt driven I/O, first we have to raise an interrupt. In the programmed I/O concept, first we have to make a request that we need the I/O device or we need to contact with the memory, anything. But in interrupt, you have to first, the system has to first raise an interrupt, then the processor switches between the currently executed program and the program being requested to be executed. Okay? And it doesn't keep scanning for the for other processes that makes request. Okay, but in programmed I/O it keeps scanning for the request if other request come or not. But in interrupt driven I/O it does not scanning that any type of device wants to do the data transfer between the memory or not. But the difference is in these points. First, it raises an interrupt, but in programmed I/O it raises a request. Okay, and it cannot involve in any other activities during one process execution, but here it switches between two activities and it is fully dedicated for one single program. But during the interrupt driven I/O type of data transfer, it does not keep scanning. It's not fully dedicated as it switches between the processes. Okay, these two types or these two methods of data transfer are also possible than direct memory access, but these two have some disadvantages, that by using programmed I/O or interrupt driven I/O data transfer, we cannot transfer a block amount of data or a large amount of data. Okay, if we will, like in programmed I/O, if we will transfer a large amount of data, then it will continuing the process for a lot of time and others are keep waiting. Okay, and for interrupt driven I/O, if we will transfer a large amount of data, then the previously executed program paused for a long period of time. Okay, so like there are some cases where we cannot use this type of concept basically to transfer block amount of data. So to overcome this, we use a direct memory access controller or we can write is as short form DMAC, direct memory access controller, to use and to transfer a large block of data at a faster rate. It transfer a large amount of data but at a faster rate. Okay, so let's see what will be the transfer modes it follows to transfer the data. First, it is the burst mode. Burst mode means burst is the time, processor timing or CPU timing. It will be more clear when you will learn operating system. Okay, so in the burst mode, after completion of one process, then CPU can take the request of another process. Okay, so but in cycle stealing mode, when a processor or interrupt comes, then the device or the direct memory access controller release the system bus for a short period of time. Okay, that means to execute the incoming request or in between the request or interrupts for short period of time. It steals some cycle, some period of the currently executed program by pausing it to executed some part of the interrupt, not the all part, some part of. So it's the stealing method. Stolen something, stolen the cycle. Okay, stolen the period or CPU time. Okay, but in the burst mode, it does not release the system bus. It first completes the currently executed process, then it releases the system bus. But in transparent mode, it is a special type of mode. Okay, in the transparent mode, the direct memory access controller takes the charge of system bus only if the processor does not require the system bus. Means this type of mode is more fair than other, because in the burst mode it has to execute its process for a long period of time. It can execute, but in transparent mode it takes the charge if the processor does not require the system bus. It does not stolen any cycle, it does not stolen any type of short term, or it cannot process for a long period of time. If it's free, then it will make a request and the processor will process that program, that requested program. Okay, and this is the diagram how the direct memory access controller works. It is connected with the system bus. It is a controller, it is a device. Okay, actually it is a device, and processor, main memory, and these all IO devices are connected to the processor and memory through the system bus. Okay, and here direct memory access controller, or you can call it as a disk controller if a disk is taken as a input device or output device. Okay, and it is connected to the system bus through a direct memory access controller. Okay, and by using these three modes, the DMAC transfers or performs data transfer between the memory and these IO devices. And this is all about direct memory access. If you have any doubt, then you can ask me. Thank you.